Oh yeah, who's got wood? I've got wood. All this wood. 4x8, 3/4 inch, and I'm starting to draw an outline so that way I can actually cut it. So far I've got one side of the panel done, and I've got 2 more sheets of this 4x8 over here, and honestly I think I'm going to use it all underneath there. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but finally getting this thing started. Oh yes. Hey, so just another update on the arcade now. I'm cutting out the control board. I've already cut out almost all the wood, and I accidentally found out that I cut out all the pieces 2 inches longer than they're supposed to be for the midsection, but that's fine. I think I'll end up just making it 2 inches wider, not a big deal. Anyway, but I've got some of the holes cut out. The big one in the center you can see is going to be for this trackball. And the small ones, I actually didn't have a drill bit big enough to cut these, so I've been using this router bit and set up on my Dremel, which I actually picked up over the fall for about $10, so that was real nice. And you can see, though, they're not exactly smooth or circular, but that's alright, because a long time ago when they made arcades, they made these little pieces of molding around the outer edge so that you didn't need to be perfect. So watch. When you go to put this in, it just covers up all the edges and the space surrounding it, so it looks fine from all angles. Yeah, it's looking kind of strange, board with a bunch of holes in it. Ah, there, that looks better. Alright, so now, basically, I've made these brackets, and it's covered with sawdust, but they are, these are the things that are going to be holding the arcade mostly together. Now, the reason why I'm using brackets and I'm not actually just screwing all these pieces together is because I am going to stain it, and I want the outside not to have any screw holes jutting into it, and the only way to do this with screwing in without brackets would be to actually screw in from the side, but I'm trying to make it look like a cabaret cabinet. Now, the reason why they were able to get away with it was because they did screw directly in, but they used cabaret wood look-alike vinyl. So I'm actually staining it and not using vinyl, which is why I need these brackets. But basically I am inside of the machine now. Not really a machine yet, but you know, you can see I wasn't joking when it's 32 inches wide, because I've got it on its side now. But it'll be pretty big, all things considered, and I'm definitely going to need to find a good way to get this home. Oh, also it's going to be pretty damn heavy. Alright, so once again, here's the cabinet. Looking alright so far. Got the control panel on. No buttons on yet because I'm going to stain it first. And oh, look at this. Look what we got inside. It's a mini fridge that I was able to fit in here. And that's pretty nice because I have some of these things that I bought online over here, which if anyone's not familiar, these are a couple components. This is a Cornelius keg, which was used for old Coke and Pepsi products, and it's the same thing as a regular keg, except gas line in on one side and then liquid out in the other. And this one can hold 5 gallons. Right now I'm testing it with water. This is a 5-pound CO2 tank with a regulator. Top regulator tells you the PSI of the entire system, while this gauge tells you how much is left in the tank. It's got a regular closed valve, this little ball lock valve, and on the other side I've got my my shank over there, my forgetting the actual name for it. Anyway, but if I just hit this knob here, you can hear that, and that's actually this right here. If I stop that for a minute. Basically what that is a little pressure release section on here, and that is what happens when you don't have this piece in, and you use this piece to slowly let pressure out of the system. So if I have it on, you're supposed to use it when the when this is full of pressure and you're just trying to get the gas out before you refill it or clean it or another thing. So if I put it back on, I've got all these seals on, and I've got these two lines on, and I hit this again, you'll hear a very minor hissing, and you'll notice that this needle up top dropped down a little bit to 1. 1 is located somewhere near 12 to 15 psi, somewhere in between there. And basically these are, you can see it's a Kegco thing, so they've actually judged where those little lines are supposed to be based on how many Cornelius kegs you have. So I've got 1, so I want to keep it somewhere in this range. A little bit more or less is fine just as well. And I've got plenty of CO2, obviously, if I'm only using 12 psi. But anyway, that's probably not what you care about. You probably care about what it looks like on the other end, and that's pretty cool just as well. So, like I said, testing it with water, so don't worry, I'm not wasting precious beer. It pours out pretty smooth. And it stops as soon as you hit this. And that little bit of hissing that you hear, not sure if you can catch up on that, but we're right next to the tank. That hissing is actually the system replenishing itself with the regulator located on the side of the tank, and the hissing will stop once the entire system has been filled again with the proper amount of gas and fluid in the areas where they're supposed to be, based on whatever you set the regulator to. In my case, what does that look like? Maybe somewhere near like 16 psi. Not horribly too much, but it definitely makes it good. And this is going to be filled with something else when Christmas time rolls around. Yeah. Nice. Even better.
Okay, so here's what this is. This is what I'm holding here is a keyboard, and I know some of you might be thinking this looks like pretty small to be a keyboard, but when you have a keyboard, this is the only thing you need, just this circuit board, and then the rest is just big so you can use it properly. And I was having some trouble originally because I didn't know how these newer ones are made, the USB keyboards, because the only ones I've ever taken apart have been old PS2 keyboards. So the way that these ones work, in case you don't know, is they have this piece here with all these buttons, and then they have this grounding plane overlay. And on old ones, it actually is a plane, and you press buttons onto little pieces of graphite like you might see on modern gaming controllers. However, this is not a grounding plane. It's grounding rows, and then these ones on the regular board are columns. And in case you're wondering what I got in my hand, it's stain from the arcade. I was staining it. I'll show pictures of that soon. But basically, what's going on is that chip that I showed you goes here, and those wires that were on there were what I soldered to. I had to tin those wires, and I had to solder them together. And if you want to know what that's like or how horrible of a process that is, go to SJM's channel, because he does one with a SNES cart and or NES cart as well, and those are 72 pin connectors. And it's 72 pins on either side, so it's just 150 or more of just these horrible little pins that you need to solder to. And so that's what I've been doing for a little while. And basically, when you touch one of these to one of these white ones, it'll send out a little command telling you which key you've pressed. And basically now what I'm going to do is go through the rows and columns and see which one goes to which, so that I can map each switch. Alright, so this is a little while in between updates because there's actually a lot that I did since the last video. It's just because I've been real busy with this, and I'm on kind of a time frame where it's almost Christmas and this has to be done. So basically what's going on is that this big mess of wires in here is for the buttons. And it has to be like that because I'm using this board down here that came from the keyboard. And, you know, like I showed before, it's arranged in a matrix and not like the old graphite PS2 ones. But I've got a Raspberry Pi here, soon I'll have two. I don't have a proper on-off switch yet, so I'm just using this. I've just got very loosely some speaker in there. That'll go up top soon. That's actually the tap for the keg, and that flips open like I showed before. But basically, you'll also notice that the whole thing is stained and polyurethane now. I stained it with Cabaret, just like that old fake vinyl that they used to use. Oh, also, if you're wondering what like this stuff is up here, basically I just flipped up the whole back because I just have a big continuous hinge on it. So the front's looking pretty good, actually. I like the way it came out. It's a little dark over here, so you can't really see it, but the coin slot's down there, buttons here. I haven't put the trackball in yet, but I've got Mario World running, and well, I do have to fix something, because so if I start this up, there's Mario, and if I press this button, that's jump, spin jump. I assume this would be for running / holding something, and then this is for whatever the other one is, I forget. But basically, the way that I wanted it to be instead of this layout is I need to move this button to here, and then I need to move this button up, and I basically need to rearrange these buttons because I want it to be set up the same way that an SNES was, where it was BAYX, I believe it was. So I can have it like that, because if you can see, it kind of makes the same pattern that an SNES controller does. And then right here I'd have my left button and my right button, and then that way it would be more familiar to what you're trying to do. Oh yeah, for these three buttons up here, basically I've got it so this will be a pause button for any MAME games. This button lets you escape games, so if I hit it, there you go, just escape the game. And then the last one I'm going to have for TV on, TV off, and that'll correspond with the blue button over there. And the other two blue buttons do volume up, volume down. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I've got all these nice games on here, which I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to show. But trust me, these are copies of games that I legitimately have. Totally. Anyway, that's how it's going right now. My marquee looks alright. I just got to clean it off a little bit. But other than that, it looks pretty good. And I'll update hopefully when it's done. Oh yeah, and I put a little padlock on here since this has gone to my family. I'm going to give the key to my dad in case he doesn't want my brothers drinking up all the beer. Alright, so here it is finally, all done. I'm not going to make a long video because I got to get going soon, but here's what it is. Basically, after the whole staining process, polyurethane, everything like that, all the electronics are in and it's working. The sound's a little buggy, so I'm going to fix that, but there's the fridge. Oh yeah, let me turn it on. If I can get it to focus. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, there it is. The trackball lights up a little bit. I've got RetroPie installed. And, oh yeah, let me show you this down here. These two buttons right there are for extra coin if you don't want those, or for free play.
if you don't want extra coins, I gave the key to my dad in case he wants to make my brothers pay to play, if he wants to keep his high scores. But they're just behind this coin door, which you can open to retrieve your coins. You can open this whole bottom part to get to the keg and to the CO2 can. And then this piece opens right here, which is the best part, to get your faucet. And then that distributes beer. I don't have any things on me right now to get any, but yeah, that's basically how it works. And then right here you can switch between emulators, and then even in here you can switch between them. I got a whole ton of NES games, which I totally own and did not, rip from anywhere. Definitely not. And basically, if you don't want that, you can put that back. It looks just like part of the thing. And also, I have a second Raspberry Pi in here. So if I flip these two switches, the way that works is that now it switches the audio and video of one Raspberry Pi over to here, but it also switches the red and green cables of the keyboard, which I'm using underneath all of this to control these. And what it does is it's still getting power from both of them, but the keyboard information to and from is getting switched. And then this one has a bunch of games on it too. The only reason I use two Pis is because the other one could not play Galaga, which is my family's favorite game, and also it doesn't accept the trackball input for Centipede, and my girlfriend loves that, and I knew she was going to come over, so I did that, but it's all working. I like the marquee, and I think it looks pretty nice. Let me just back up so I can get like a full shot of it. I can't back up any further. I think it looks pretty nice. With the outline of an old Centipede arcade. But yeah, that's basically it. I think it came out pretty well, and I got it done in time for Christmas. But unfortunately, now I gotta go, so that's it. Later.